Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam, pranam.
Yeah, I can unfortunately not read yet because I have undergone one
Mm-hmm.
star operation on my left eye. So I can't read
Okay,
yet.
okay, no
I'll
problem,
read.
Mataji. So, is it better now? Your eyes is getting better?
Yeah, it's getting better, but I should not
Yeah, you
get
should not. Yeah,
yeah.
don't, no need, no need.
Okay,
Let's
thank
see. It looks like nobody joined, so let's see if we are
yeah.
going to him. People are maybe busy, or I
Yeah,
put.
maybe they will join in a few minutes.
Yeah, let's wait a little bit and then
Yeah.
see.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Mm. Proceed. Maybe somebody else will join later. At least 3 or 4 people should be here that we do the class. So last week we didn't have, and previously to that we had a class. Let us try to see where we stopped. 1 second to share my screen. So as you can see here, we are on the 10th chapter of the 7th canto, which is called Prahlad, the exalted, the best among exalted devotees. So basically what happened in previous chapter, Lord Nrsimhadev, he killed Hiranyakashipu, then all the demigods offered prayers, but still they couldn't pacify Lord Nrsimhadev, so they pushed Prahlad forward, who offered prayers. And now when the Lord is fully pacified and satisfied, he is offering benedictions to Prahlad Maharaj. So in the first 10 shlokas of this chapter, we heard that Prahlad is refusing to accept material benedictions. Since Lord Nrsimhadev, he was tempting him by offering him different sort of material benedictions, but Prahlad is saying that I'm not a merchant. This is pure devotional service, unmotivated devotional service. It's not a business. It's not that I serve you because I want to get something from you. And this contains very important lessons. Yeah, that pure unalloyed bhakti is without material cause or reason. It's unmotivated. Anakulena, anushilanam. It's ahetukya pratihata. It's without cause. It's motivated by pure love. And then in the next set of shlokas, Lord Nrsimhadev still, although Prahlad doesn't want, and Nrsimhadev, he acknowledges that he's still giving him certain benedictions. We will see here what is he giving. 1 second. He's saying, yeah, 10. Okay, here. You'll be able to enjoy opulences for a long time, to enjoy as the king of the demons until the end of this Manvantara. So one Manvantara is 71 Divya Yugas. So it's 71 times 4,300,000 years, which comes around 300 million years, quite long time. Prahlad Maharaj is going to live a whole Manvantara, basically. And then he's also, yeah, he doesn't want him just to enjoy. He wants him to have material opulences, but at the same time be engaged fully in devotional service. Because he's a pure devotee, he will not be distracted by any sort of material opulences. That's why he is confident to give him, because he knows that he will not be distracted or deviated. And then he also tells other things there. Your pure glory will be sang everywhere, and you'll at the end you'll be free from the bondage of karma, and you will come back to me. And again, here we have that point that Prahlad, like Narad Muni, is partly sadhana siddha and partly nitya siddha. So he is perfect due to partly due to his sadhana and partly due to his eternal perfection. So it's a combination of sadhana siddha and nitya siddha. So it's called mix siddha. And now we are on the shloka 14. This is where we stopped. So just 1 second. Shloka 14. Okay, I'll read first. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimrandasya Gyananjana Shalaka Chakshu Umalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ya etat kittayen mahyam tvaya gitamidhanaram tvam chamam chasmarang kale karma bandhat pramuchyate. So translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. One who always remembers your activities and my activities also, and who chants the prayers you have offered, becomes free in due course of time from the reactions of material activities. Purport. Here it is stated that anyone who chants and hears about the activities of Prahlad Maharaj and the relationship with Prahlad's activities, the activities of Nrsimhadev, gradually becomes free from all bondage of fruitive activities. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Yam hina vyatayam tyete purusham purusharshaba samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate. Amritatvaya kalpate. O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. Dukeshvanudvignamana sukeshu vigatas priha vittarhaga bhaya krodha sthittadir muniruchyate. This is from Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. One who is not disturbed in spite of the threefold miseries, who is not elated when there is a happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. A devotee should not be aggrieved in an awkward position, nor should he feel extraordinarily happy in material opulence. This is the way of expert management of material life. Because a devotee knows how to manage expertly, he is called Jivan Mukta. As Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ihayasya Harir Dasye Karmana Manasa Gira Nikhilas Vapya Vastasu Jivan Muktas Uchyate. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, with his body, mind, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person even within this material world. Although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities, because of constantly engaging in devotional service. In any condition of life, a devotee is free from all material bondage. Bhakti punati manishta shrapakan apisambhavat. Even one born in a family of meat eaters is purified if he engages in devotional service. This is from 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Jiva Goswami cites this verse in logically supporting that anyone who chants about the pure life and activities of Prahlad Maharaj is freed from the reactions of material activities. And Vishnu Chakri Thakur comments, not only you are free of bondage, but others who remember you become free of bondage as well. Please listen. Mhyam Tvaya Gitam means the song you sang to please me. Okay, so what is the major point here is that remembrance of a devotee and devotees' activities have very potent purifying effects in the same way as activities and remembrance of the Lord Himself. Because whatever the devotee does is in relationship to the Lord. So by remembering devotee, you automatically also remember the Lord. Remembering, the activities and qualities of devotee, you also remember the activities and qualities of the Lord. So if we find difficult to remember the Lord directly because we may have not seen the Lord or have no experience of the Lord, so we might find difficult to remember the Lord, but devotee we can remember, pure devotee as Srila Prabhupada, and it's something very powerful. I don't know if I told you previously the story, but I still remember many years ago when I just graduated and I worked in a bank, and somehow by Krishna's grace didn't have much work to do. So whole day I was sitting reading books. In one particular time I was reading one of the Srila Prabhupada's biography, My Glorious Master of Burijam Prabhu. And he wrote it so nicely that I was, completely, mesmerized, absorbed in it, and didn't notice much what was happening around me in the office. So people were coming in and out of the office. I was just reading that book. And then one point, I noticed the two colleagues, they stopped in front of my table and they were commenting something between each other. One was telling to the other one, oh, look at him today. He's glowing, something special. Maybe you use some special, beauty cream. What is it? You are not like on the normal days. And then I just laughed them off. But then I just realized, just because I was so deeply absorbed in meditation on Srila Prabhupada, they noticed something externally. So Prabhupada is a pure devotee. So if you can absorb your mind in a meditation on Srila Prabhupada, that's very purifying, very powerful. Then you also emanate Prabhupada's qualities because you deeply meditate on Prabhupada. So this is just to illustrate that meditation on a pure soul, pure devotee is as powerful as meditation on the Lord Himself directly. So, and luckily in our parampara, we have so many pure devotees, uh, and we have biographies, some of them, so we can remember their activities. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, spiritual master, we have that book, Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava, that Bhakti Vicara Maharaj wrote, very detailed, in much detail, he analyzed the life of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So that can help us meditate on him and remember him. And then, of course, on Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we also have quite a few biographies. And some of the previous acharyas, like Six Goswamis of Vrindavan, there are some books about their lives. Bhakti Ratnakara, for example, is the book written by Sri Naraharis Harakar, which describes the lives of first generation of devotees after Lord Chaitanya and his associates left. Sri Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, and Shyamananda. And it's a book that also can help us meditate on exalted souls that appeared in our Gaudiya Vaishnava line. And this meditation is as powerful as meditation on the Lord directly. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think it's written that each and every of Lord Chaitanya's associates is so powerful that he can deliver the whole universe, and just by remembering them, you can get liberated very easily, become free from bondage. This is same as Lord Nrsimhadev is giving blessing here to Prahlad Maharaj. Anyone who remembers you becomes free from bondage of karma. So if we read Prahlad's prayers, we automatically, remember Prahlad and we remember Lord Nrsimhadev. And if we do it seriously with, one point in mind, we become free from bondage of karma. So it's very beneficial to read and chant these prayers of Prahlad Maharaj and so many other prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam and in other places. Okay, so we'll stop here. So let's see, Subhadamaji says she cannot read, Shailesh Prabhu also. So we have Shantirupa Mataji, would you like to read, please?
Yes, Prabhu, I will read. Shri Prarada Vacha Parambaraya Etate Paradeshan Maheshwara Yadedanindat Pitame Tvam Avidvam Steja Aishwaram Vidvam Marshashaya Sakshat Sarvaloka Gurum Prabhu Bhratriheti Mrisha Drishtis Tadbhakte Mai Jagavan Tasmat Pita Me Puyeta Turanta Tustaradagat Putaste Apanga Samdrishtas Tada Kripana Vatsala. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj said, O Supreme Lord, because you are so merciful to the fallen souls, I ask you for only one benediction. I know that my father, at the time of his death, had already been purified by your glance upon him. But because of his ignorance of your beautiful power and supremacy, he was unnecessarily angry at you, falsely thinking that you were the killer of his brother. Thus he directly blasphemed your lordship, the spiritual master of all living beings, and committed heavily sinful activities directed against me, your devotee. I wish that he be excused for these sinful activities. Purport. Although Hiranyakashipu was purified as soon as he came in contact with the Lord's lap, and the Lord saw him, Prahlad Maharaj still wanted to hear from the Lord's own mouth that his father had been purified by the Lord's causeless mercy. Prahlad Maharaj offered this prayer to the Lord for the sake of his father. As a Vaishnava son, despite all the inconveniences imposed upon him by his father, he could not forget his father's affection. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Previously, I prayed at your lotus feet for the deliverance of all people suffering in this world. Now, if you have given such good fortune to me, Then I pray also that you free one great sinner. This is expressed in 3 verses. My father's heart was contaminated with anger. Vidhamarshashaya. Even if he is already purified by your glance, I pray out of humility to hear words of mercy from your mouth. So, this is Prahlad Maharaj describing his father's sinful activities and requesting the Lord to pardon him, and that is the only benediction he wants, nothing else. So he was a pure devotee. So a pure devotee doesn't want anything else, but he's also dukhi, so he wanted his father to be excused.
Yes, interesting thing here is that that same Hiranyakashipu, his father, he tried to kill Prahlad many, many times. So imagine if somebody tried to kill you once, would you be so forgiving? But to speak once, but if he tried to kill you many, many times, probably we would be angry at such a person, at least angry, and not wish him so much well. But because Prahlad had such a Vaishnava heart, he's so compassionate and forgiving. This is the topmost, level of forgiveness, to forgive somebody who harm you, who wanted to harm you. It is difficult, especially for those who are conditioned, because the ego, false ego, is there, and he's doing something against me, so I have to, look at him as my enemy. This duality vision is there for anybody who is embodied and has an ego. But no, Prahlad Maharaj is absolutely zero, zero anger, absolutely zero grudge, resentment, any ill feelings against his father. On contrary, he remembers little of affection that Hiranyakashipu showed to him in the early age, when he was, still in a good relationship with his father. That time, probably his father kept him in a lap and showed him some affection. So he remembers that, and he completely forgot this last part where he tried to kill him. Yeah, so we should also try to be like that, although it's difficult if you're not on that level, to try to see what others did good for us, not only to remember, what bad they did towards us. And generally, this is the tendency. People can do so many good things, and then they make one mistake, make one offense, offend us, and somehow this offense leaves a trauma, and then till the rest of life we feel that trauma, and we remember that offense they did, that wrong word or chastisement or whatever they did, and then we discount all good things they did for us. But Prahlad is here giving good example how actually pure devotee deals in these situations. Okay, so Gunraj Prabhu, would you like to read?
Yes, bro. Sri Bhagavan Vacha त्रिसप्तभी पिता पूतः पितृभिः सगते अनघ यत्साधोष्यत् कुले जातो भवान् वै कुलपावनः. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Prahlada, O most pure, O great saintly person, your father has been purified along with 21 forefathers in your family. Because you were born in this family, the entire dynasty has been purified." Purport. The word Tri Sabdabi means 7 multiplied by 3. In one's family, one can count back 4 or 5 generations. to one's great grandfather or even one's great grandfather's father. But since the Lord mentions 21 forefathers, this indicates that the benediction expands to other families also. Before the present family in which one has taken birth, one must have been born in other families. Thus, when a Vaishnava takes birth in a family, by the grace of the Lord, he purifies not only that family but also the families of his previous births. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura comments, what to speak of your father being purified in this life? 21 generations of his ancestors have been purified. How do you purify the forefathers? You, the devotee, have purified the fathers and mothers' lineage. In this purport, the power of a devotee in any family, how great it is emphasized. Because even one person becomes a devotee, then that 21 generations gets benefit. That is the power of a person becoming a devotee of the Lord. That is the essence.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you. So there are some numbers here. 3 Saptibhi. This is 21. 3 times 7. So 7 generations, if we go back in this life, they all get purified. So, for example, I have a father, and then his father, which is my grandfather, and then grandfather. So like this 7 times back in this lifetime. And then also 7 times back in the previous lifetime. And then in the lifetime before the previous lifetime, also 7 times. So this makes 21. So 7 generations this life, 7 generations previous life, and 7 generations the life before the previous. This is what this actually means, 21 generations. They all get purified by topmost Parama Vaishnava like Prahlad Maharaj. And then in some places it said that, this is for Uttamadhikari, like Prahlad Maharaj, 21 generation. And then for Madhyama Adhikari, they say it would be only 7 generations. And then for Kanishta, they say 3. So I'm not sure where these statements are actually coming exactly from regarding the Madhyama, Uttama, and Kanishta 3, 7, and 21. But here we have clear reference for this 3 Saptibhi for pure devotee like Prahlad Maharaj. Well, in any case, even if we are, neophyte Kanishta devotees, at least our immediate, relatives, immediate ancestors will be benefited. Whether they'll be immediately liberated is a different question, but they'll be purified and eventually they'll get liberated. But first, also, we need to get liberated before they can get liberated. If we are still conditioned, it will be difficult for them to achieve Vaikuntha before us. But we are all on the way, and by mercy of the Lord, those who are connected to us in this lifetime and previous lifetimes, they also get benefited. That's why this is the reason why devotees do not really need to do any Shraddha ceremony, because it automatically happens by the mercy of the Lord. But just by the power of devotional service that our ancestors gets purified. So we don't need to engage in this karma kanda, offering oblations to the pitris and all these karma kanda activities. It's not necessary. Although for social reasons, if we really live in such a society where this shraddha is performed, then we can do it. There is no prohibition not to do it. But we should not think that this is what is actually beneficial, and we should not think that this is what is liberating our ancestors, that this Karma Kanda Shraddha offering is liberating them. No, we should have firm faith that actually only our devotional service is giving the real benefit. This Shraddha offering to the Pitris is just devotees doing it only for the social purpose, is to satisfy the family members who think this is necessary, and it's a social custom, and you have to do it. So I don't know how much it is still present in a modern day Indian society. Maybe Gunnar Prabhu and others can tell me how much is actually social custom anymore in India.
Yeah, still it is being followed, Prabhu.
Okay.
People are very conscious about that one. At least whether they respect the elders or not, at least this Shraddha ceremony, they'll be more serious in doing it.
But,
Okay.
but in Bengal, it is only they are interested in the Niyam Bhango, means the day they can eat fish and meat again, once again. So they are more interested in that.
Okay, so they're doing it for that reason more.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so some remnants of these customs is there, and yeah, it could be good, but anyway, if one is a devotee and if there is a pressure from family members to do it, you do it, no problem. You just follow the social custom. But in the West, nobody has any idea of any Shraddha, so that's why nobody is doing it. And then why should devotee do it if there is no social pressure? If somebody is a Western devotee and family members do not know anything about it.
Yes, we faced it during my father-in-law's and my father when they expired. But we just offered Mahaprasad plate and let them speak what they want.
Yeah,
That
this is the best. This is the best. You offer Mahaprasad plate. This is,
yeah.
the best thing the devotee can do, to offer a prasadam on the behalf of deceased person. Also, devotees here in Mahaprasad, they do offerings to Lord Nrsimhadev. There are these boga plates that you buy, and then it's offered, and then you can distribute it. And you can also sponsor prasadam to a certain number of devotees. That's also done. Kirtan
Prabhu, can I
prasadam.
say something here?
Yes, please.
I think we've covered this in the past as well. I think there's a fault in many devotees where we believe ourselves that we don't need to do it. Of course, we don't need to do it, but if Mahaprabhu does the Shraddha ceremony, being the Lord, just to show others that we should still engage, if our consciousness is done in the right mood, I think there's no harm in doing these things if we do it in the right consciousness, not from a karma perspective, but if by certainly it has benefit for forefathers by doing such things. And if in particular, if you do it in a pure devotional mood, and understanding of why we're doing it to please the Lord and to help our forefathers, I don't see any harm in that. Although I suspect that one generation forward, it's all going to be lost anyway, I think.
Oh, yes, I remember now we discussed this. Yes, correct, Prabhu. There is no harm. The only harm could be if we do not really have a faith in a purifying activity of devotional service, and we do Shraddha taking shelter of karma kanda process and of the demigods for liberation of our ancestors. Then it's a damage to our faith. It's undermining our faith in pure bhakti. This is the only damage. Otherwise, there is no harm. But if we have a full faith that bhakti itself is enough, and then we do this just for the social reasons, then there is no problem. Yeah, we don't need to discuss it again. I remember now. It was not so.
One more question.
Yeah.
I've heard and I can't remember whose lecture it was, whether it's Bhakti Rasamrita Swami or Radhanath Swami or somebody's lecture. I've heard that when this benediction is given by the Lord of 21 generations, is 14 generations in both directions. Here it just says forefathers. presumably forefathers means only backwards, not forwards. So is there any clarification you can offer on that? So would a pure devotee, the birth of a pure devotee, only help 21 generations backwards, or are any children and their grandchildren and going forwards are also benefited?
Yeah, I would assume those who are already, their children should also be benefited, but they are closely connected to them. But I don't know how much in the future you can go apart from this life, because if somebody is a pure devotee, this is supposed to be his last life, so that means there won't be any future life.
No, but in terms of the benefit of their
Benefit.
devotion is carried in both. From what I heard in one of the classes, it was 14 generations in both directions, i.e. 21 generations, 14 in both, not 14, sorry, 14 in one and 7 in the other, or something like that. I can't remember the exact formulation it was discussed, but there's no clarity of that here in the benediction directly in terms of what we read. So I'm wondering whether you're aware of any further
I'm
reference
not aware of the details in which direction it goes, but for example, Prahlad Maharaj's grandson, who was it? Bali Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj's son was Virochana, as I remember, and then his son was Bali Maharaj. So in Prahlad's family, another Mahajan, great devotee, was born, and this is certainly a result of Prahlad's pure devotional service. So I guess it works in both directions. That exactly, how many generations back and forwards, I can't say until we find the exact reference. If this Maharaj is quoted, that I guess they had some reference from somewhere. I'm not aware of it. But it should work in both directions, and it's natural that we also feel that our children should get benefited if we are devotees, and for some reason, our children do not take up to devotional service. Like in case of Srila Prabhupada, he was a pure devotee, 100%. And then most of his children, they were not really, at least practicing devotees. But I would assume that, they got quite benefits of having such a, illustrious father. Even if they're not practicing this life, I would assume that, yeah, in the next life they'll be, liberated or something. Yeah, this is what I can say on that. All right, let's read further. 19. Yatra yatra chamad bhakta prashanta samadarshina sadhava samudacharas te puyante pikikattaha. Translation. Whenever and wherever there are peaceful, equiposed devotees who are well behaved and decorated with all good qualities, that place and the dynasties there, even if condemned, are purified. So place and the dynasties are purified. Purport. Whenever exalted devotees stay, not only they and their dynasties, but the entire country is purified. And Vishnu Chakra Thakur, what to speak of purifying a family? My devotees purify the place in which they live. Puyanti means are purified. So that's why there is a significance of a birthplace of a pure devotee. It's considered a holy place. For example, Srila Prabhupada was born in Kolkata, and thus immediately, Kolkata becomes purified, that place becomes purified. And now in Kolkata, we have actually ISKCON acquired that place where Prabhupada was born, and made a small museum there, and you can go and visit it. And the what is called now Kolkata Dham. Well, I don't know if whole Kolkata can be whole holy Dham, but that place where Prabhupada, that area where he was born, it's certainly a Dham. And you can say also whole Kolkata because Prabhupada used to walk there. But then Prabhupada visited also so many other places. In New York, you can call New York Dham because Prabhupada started his mission there. Boston, Los Angeles. Yeah, you can stretch it as much as you want. So the place and the people associated with that place also purified. Doesn't mean that everybody exactly living at all times in these places is now liberated, because in Kolkata still you have millions and millions, quite a low class people, and in New York, of course, 99.9%. But there are some devotees now there in both in New York and Kolkata. Not some, quite a few devotees are there, and they are purifying the rest of the city. And because of all these devotees in the temples, the country also gets purified. America gets purified. India is already purified, and so many other countries get purified. Although there's so many disturbances. Okay, I'll read one more. Sarvatmanana himsanti bhutha gramishu kinchana uchavacheshu daityandra madbhava vigata spriha. Madhya Prahlad, king of the Daityas, because of being attached to devotional service to me, my devotee does not distinguish between lower and higher living entities. In all respects, he is never jealous of anyone. No Prabhupada's purport, but Vishnu Chandra Thakur has the greatness of those devotees is not astonishing to me, but I'm not like that. Those men who follow you become my devotees. How? Having given up all desires by prema for me, madbhava, they come completely sarvatmana, non-violent. Why can your glory not be expressed? You are model for all the devotees, an example since you are the best. So Lord Nrsimhadev himself is glorifying his pure devotee, Lord Maharaj, and his exalted qualities. And he wants his glories to be spread. Like devotee wants to spread the glories of the Lord, similarly, the Lord, he wants his devotee's glory to be spread. And devotee is never jealous of anyone. Jealousy and envy are qualities of people who are materially conditioned. Pure devotee is never under influence of such materialistic qualities. And he sees everybody with equal eyes. He doesn't see in terms of social status and position. Generally in society, if you are a beggar on the street, everybody looks down upon you. And if you're a rich man, everybody, adores you. If you are some movie star or something, people are running after you. So these all material distinctions, and devotee like Prahlad is never under influence of such material conceptions. With Pandita Samadarshana, sees everybody with equal vision. All right, so we can read a little more. Shantirupa Mali, you'd like to read again?
Yes, Prabhu. Bhavanti purusha loke madbhaktastvamanuvrata bhavan me khalu bhaktanam sarvesham pratirupatrik. Translation. Those who follow your example will naturally become my pure devotees. You are the best example of my devotee, and others should follow in your footsteps. Purport. In this connection, Srila Madhvacharya quotes a verse from the Skanda Purana. Ritetu tatva tatvikan devan naradadim stathaiva cha praradaduttama konu Vishnu bhaktau jagatraye. There are many devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they have been enumerated in Srimad Bhagavatam as follows. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu Prahlada Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayasakir Vayam. Of the 12 authorized devotees, Lord Brahma, Narada, Lord Shiva, Kapila, Manu, and so on, Prahlad Maharaj is understood to be the best example. So, in this, the Lord Himself is glorifying Prahlad and giving him the benediction of being a Mahajana because he is a pure devotee. And this is how the Lord reciprocates with the pure devotees, that everyone should follow in their footsteps. So, and Prabhupada has given the 12 Mahajanas, which are given in Srimad Bhagavatam. I think that's it.
Yeah, we want to follow in the footsteps of pure devotees, of which Prahlad is one. And by following the examples, we also can become pure devotees. This is the whole point, that the life stories of these devotees are given in the scriptures, that others can follow and emulate the example and themselves become pure devotees and become liberated from material bondage. Okay, Gunaraj Prabhu, would like to read once more?
कुरु त्वं प्रेतकृत्यानि पितुपूतस्य सर्वसः मदङ्ग स्पर्शनेनाङ्ग लोकान् यास्यति सुप्रजा. Translation. My dear child, your father has already been purified just by the touch of my body at the time of his death. Nonetheless, the duty of a son is to perform the Shraddha ritualistic ceremony after his father's death, so that his father may be promoted to a planetary system where he may become a good citizen and devotee. Purport. In this regard, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura says that although Hiranyakasipu was already purified, he had to take birth on a higher planetary system to become a devotee again. Prahlada Maharaja was advised to perform the ritualistic ceremony as a matter of etiquette, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead under no circumstances wants to stop the regulative principles. Madhva Muni also instructs, Madhu Kaitaba Bhakti Abhava Durau Bhagavato Murtau Thamayeva Kramad Aptau Bhaktiya Chedyo Harim Yayu. When the demons Madhu and Kaitaba were killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, their kinsmen also observed the ritualistic ceremonies so that these demons could return home back to Godhead. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura comments, since your father has been purified by the touch of my body, do not fear for his sins, but do the funeral rites simply for maintaining custom. So here the Lord himself is telling Prahlad Maharaja that even though your father is purified already by his touch, is just to maintain the regulative principles, not to violate the principles. He is asking him to do the Shraddha ceremony.
Yeah, again, Shraddha. I think Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he instructed his disciples to do Vaishnava Shraddha, which consisted basically of kirtan and prasadam distribution. But then when some of his disciples didn't listen, but they did, that smarta way of performing Shraddha, he was a little disappointed with them because there was so much, attached to the social customs that they went for smarta. But he advised Vaishnava. Vaishnava Shraddha consists of this kirtan and prasadam distribution on the behalf of deceased person. And this is the best way how you actually can help your relative, not just by performing some, fire sacrifice, which may work, may not work, but kirtan will work for sure, and prasadam distribution will work for sure. Okay, I'll read more. Pityam cha sthanam atishta yatoktam brahmavadibi mayavishya manastata kuru karmani matparaha. After performing the ritualistic ceremonies, take charge of your father's kingdom. Sit upon the throne and do not be disturbed by materialistic activities. Please keep your mind fixed upon me. Without transgressing the injunctions of the Vedas, as a matter of formality, you may perform your particular duties. When one becomes a devotee, he no longer has any duty to the Vedic regulative principles. One has many duties to perform, but if one becomes fully devoted to the Lord, he no longer has any such obligations. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11 canto, Devarshi Buddhaktan Rinam Pitrinam Na Kinkaronayam Rinicharajan Sarvatmana Yasharanam Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Parihritya Kartam. One who has fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord is no longer a debtor to his forefathers, the great sages, human society, the common man, or any living entity. The Supreme Personality of Godhead nonetheless advised Prahlad Maharaj to follow the relative principles, for since he was going to be the king, others would follow his example. Thus, Lord Nrsimhadev advised Prahlad Maharaj to engage in his political duties so that the people would become the Lord's devotees. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tad eva tarujanaha sayatad pramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. One should not be attached to any materialistic activities, but a devotee may perform such activities as an example to show the common man that one should not deviate from the Vedic injunctions. And Vishwanath, though you as my devotee are not supposed to do karmas, by my order do karmas to maintain the custom, but be dedicated to me without faith in those karmas, madpara. By thinking of me, even if you do not do the karmas they are performed, so do not worry. So here it says that devotee is not supposed to do karmas, means fruitive karma kanda activities described in the Vedas. But these activities are prescribed for common men who are not yet devotees, for general population. For them it's very beneficial to follow the Vedic path and do these karmas, these fruitive activities, because they abide to the authority of the Vedas and gradually they are elevated. But once one is already a devotee of Vishnu or Krishna, he's already, situated on a higher path, and he doesn't need to undergo the process that is prescribed for common people. He can just directly worship Krishna, and by that, all the results of these fruitive activities automatically obtained. So for devotee, it will be stepped down to perform fruitive activities. But in this case, because devotee, as Prahlad Maharaj, is a leader, he is a king, and he needs to show by example to general masses of people, so he's doing these karmas, he's doing the yagyas and fruitive activities, karma kanda, in order to show to the citizens how they should act. But for himself, he doesn't need it. Just by, constant remembrance of Lord Nrsimhadev, all the karma, all fruitive activities, they automatically performed. This is what Lord is saying here. Okay, a little more. Shinarduvacha Prahradopi tata chakre pituyat samparayikam yataha bhagavan rajan abi shikto dvijatibhim. Translation. Shinarada Muni continued. Thus, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead ordered, Prahlad Maharaj performed the ritualistic ceremonies for his father. O King Yudhishthir, he was then enthroned in the kingdom of Hiranyakashipu as directed by the Brahmanas. Purport. It is essential that society be divided into 4 groups of men: Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Here we see that although Prahlad was perfect in every respect, he nonetheless followed the instructions of the Brahmanas who performed the Vedic rituals. Therefore, in society there must be a very intelligent class of leaders who are well versed in the Vedic knowledge, so that they can guide the entire populace to follow the Vedic principles and thus gradually become most perfect and eligible to return home back to Godhead. So the Lord here is instructing Prahlad to perform Shraddha, a ritualistic ceremony for his father, because in this way he will show the example to the citizens. And at the same time, he was coronated by the Lord as the king of huge kingdom of the Hiranyakashipu. I mean, Hiranyakashipu, he occupied the whole universe, but I don't think this was his rightful kingdom. So I would assume that Prahlad Maharaj was enthroned as the king of the Daityas and Danavas, or in the region below Bhumandala. But also in one of the dvipas of Bhumandala or Jambudvipa, I think there is a description of Prahlad Maharaj worshipping Lord Nrsimhadev there. So I guess he is present also on the greater earth plane. And another point mentioned here that in a Vedic society, there are these 4 varnas, 4 ashramas, and brahmanas are those who give direction to others, to other varnas, what to do and how to do. They're the brain. But then you have administrative class, you have kshatriyas who are actually supposed to make sure that instructions of the Brahmanas are followed. Administrators, they're supposed to put these instructions into practice, to practically apply them. So you might have Brahmanas, but if you don't have a Kshatriyas who will, implement the instructions of the Brahmanas, again society becomes dysfunctional. You cannot do it without them. And also the other two varnas, Vaishyas also need it. If Vaishyas do not make money, who will maintain the other four varnas? And then if Shudras are not there to do so much of the manual labor, again society cannot function. So all four of them are necessary, but the Brahmanas that they had. So that's why they are considered the most important. But everybody else is also important in a Varnashrama society. Unfortunately, nowadays, we don't really have any Varnashrama. We have just some natural inclinations. Some people are acting like Brahmanas. Some are acting like Kshatriyas. And many are, just working like Shudras. And some are Vaishyas, few are Vaishyas. But there is it's not organized. It's just, it's happening by natural qualities that these people have. But there is no organization as such. That's why there is a chaos in the whole society. And it's sad, I think, that Vaishyas, those now in the modern society, are those who are actually ruling the world. Those who have money. They have influence, they have power, they have position, they have everything. Kshatriyas are those who are supposed to protect the population, but when the Vaishyas are in control, there's no real protection. It's just profit-making business. So this is for Western capitalistic, as they say, capitalistic society, that Vaishyas in charge, and then for communist societies, Prabhupada used to say that Shudras are in charge, Shudras are leading it. Although we don't have so many communist countries anymore. I mean, few. China is left as the big one. In any way, whoever is there, they're autocrats, whether they're Shudras or whatever they are. They're certainly, I don't think they can even be classified as in any of these four varnas, because these four varnas, they all follow actually Vedic principles. And somebody might have just some natural inclination to work, but if he's not following Vedic principles, he's Lord and Shudra. That's why they're called Mlechas and Yavanas and Kiratas and Hunas and so many uncivilized tribes. And these are the people who are leading the modern world, practically all states and countries. And that's why it's all sliding down to greater and greater conflict. So we'll see. Let's see if we are going to see in our lifetimes the purging of the whole world. All right, so what is the time? Shantiru, you'd like to read again? Just
Yes,
three.
yes, Prabhu. प्रसादसमुखं दृष्ट्वा ब्रह्मा नरहरिं हरिं स्तुत्वा भागवी पवित्राभिः प्राह देवादिभिर्वृतः. Translation. Lord Brahma, surrounded by the other demigods, was bright-faced because the Lord was pleased. Thus he offered praise to the Lord with transcendental words. So there's nothing much to say.
Yeah, you can rest, read the next.
Yeah.
You can read the next. Dhruva Mataji, you there? You're muted, I don't hear you.
Yes. Shri Brahma Vacha Deva Devakhiladhyaksha Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Tishtate Nihata Papo Loka Santapano Asuraha. Translation. Lord Brahma said, O Supreme Lord of all lords, proprietor of the entire universe, O benedictor of all living entities, O original person, Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Purusha. Because of our good fortune, you have now killed this sinful demon who was giving trouble to the entire universe.
This is a mistake. It's not Adi Purusha, it's Adi Lila. I don't know who wrote it.
Oh, okay. Purport. The word Purvaja is described in Bhagavad Gita 10.8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. All the demigods, including Lord Brahma, are manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the original person, the cause of all causes, is Govinda, the Adi Purusha.
Or maybe
Vishwan-
it's Adi Purusha, yeah, I don't know.
Yes. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja means the Lord who existed previous to the creators of the living entities, such as Brahma and Marichi. So, in this verse, Lord Brahma is glorifying Lord Nishingadev as the Supreme Lord of all lords. And because of his good fortune, the Lord has killed the sinful demon who was giving trouble to the entire universe. So in the purport, Prabhupada says, Purvaja is Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Even before the universe was created, or even before the act of creation, the Lord was present. So that is an important point which he is explaining to us. And all the demigods, including Lord Brahma, are manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the original person is the cause of all causes, is Govinda, the Adi Purusha.
Yes, Govinda is the only Adi Purusha. It's not even Vishnu or Narayan. So from Krishna comes Balaram, and then from Balaram, then he expands further. Chaturvyuha, Sankarshan, and then Narayans, Vishnus, and so forth. Okay, once Gunnar Prabhu, once more.
Yes, Prabhu. Yoshau labda varo matto na vadyo mama srustibihi tapo yoga balon naddaha samashtan nigaman ahan. This demon, Hiranyakashipu, received from me the benediction that he would not be killed by any living being within my creation. With this assurance and with strength derived from authorities, austerities, and mystic power, he became excessively proud and transgressed all the Vedic injunctions.
You can read more.
Yeah. Dishtya tat tanaya sadur mahabhagavato arbhaha tvaya vimochitto mrityor dishtya tvam samito aduna. Translation. By great fortune, Hiranyakashipu's son Prahlad Maharaja has now been released from death, for although he is a child, he is an exalted devotee. Now he is fully under the protection of your lotus feet.
And one more.
एतत् वपुस्ते भगवान् ध्यायतः परमात्मनः सर्वतो गोप्तुर् संत्राशान् मृत्योरपि जिगांशतः. Translation. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are the Supreme Soul. If one meditates upon your transcendental body, you naturally protect him from all sources of fear, even the imminent danger of death. Purport. Everyone is sure to die, for no one is excused from the hands of death, which is but a feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mrityu Sarvaharas Chaham. When one becomes a devotee, however, he is not destined to be destined to die according to a limited duration of life. Everyone has a limited duration of life, but a devotee's lifetime can be extended by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, who is able to nullify the results of one's karma. Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. This is the statement of Brahma Samhita 5.54. A devotee is not under the laws of karma. Therefore, even a devotee's scheduled death can be avoided by the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. God protects the devotee even from the extreme danger of death. Vishnu Chakravarti comments, you are the protector from death, Mrityu.
Can you say what is the main thing?
Yeah. Actually, the last two slokas, Brahma is explaining how Hiranyakasipu was, because of his power and other things, benedictions he got, he was transgressing all the Vedic injunctions, and then how he was Prahlad Maharaj, he was torturing the Prahlad Maharaj, and how he got released from the clutches of his father, and how Lord protected him. And then he's explaining that when anybody meditates upon the Lord, then the Lord will protect him from all sources of fear and death, even from death. So here it is emphasized that the devotee is beyond the karma. If a pure devotee is there, the Lord can even he can postpone his death by his causeless mercy.
But does
So
it generally happen? Does it generally happen that our lifetime is extended?
But you can see some devotees' lifetime, maybe they are supposed to die, or sometimes it gets extended because of their devotional activities, that gets carried, and then it's extended beyond certain limit.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, it could happen. We never actually know when one is supposed to die. So we assume, he was supposed to you know, to live longer. But actually, maybe, his karma was to live only 30 years and now he's living 50 or something. Actually, I know a devotee who was just recently here in Mayapur diagnosed with a terminal illness. Actually, just one day, maybe just not a month or two ago, at most 2 months ago, or even less. He just felt some pain in the chest, and then he didn't know what to do, and then he just thought, okay, I'll just relax, take some medicines, but it didn't work. Pain continued. Then he went to the hospital, did the checkup, and what did they found? To utmost shock of everybody, they found, that he had a cancer that spread to the fourth stage of cancer. It's and the doctors just gave me a few months to live, at most 6 months. So he went to Europe, and now practically he's on a deathbed. They don't give him even 1 month to live. And although they cannot do even chemotherapy, they cannot do surgery. It's just too late for everything. Although he tries some alternative things, but it's just too late for anything. And yeah, and he's, you can say, only 60. I don't know, is it old? It's not that old, but it's not that young also. Although he still has, you know, a wife and a son who is maybe only 10, 11 years old. Yeah, this is, we should be ready, you know, whenever it is. We never know when it's going to happen, and what is our duration of life, and whether it will be extended or not. But if we are ready at any moment, then whatever it is, it's the mercy of Krishna whenever it comes. But the main point that we can remember Krishna at the time of death, whether we are 40 or 60 or 70, and somehow, you know, duration of life is decreasing. It's not that it's increasing. Although David, if you could see some statistics, maybe in the 20th century increased because of certain inventions, antibiotics, this, that, it increased. But now because of everything is being polluted, the food with the pesticides and chemicals and air, they found that average person now has 6 to 7 grams of microplastics in his brain. That's why so many people are getting this Alzheimer, Parkinson diseases, because in the last 20 or 30 years, the production of plastics increased so much that it went everywhere in the food, in the water, for drinking. Microplastic is small atomic plastic particles that cannot be seen even under microscope, but somehow the plastic decomposes in that way that it cannot be decomposed really. So it finds its way to the food chain and to the water, and then we consume it, and then it gets accumulated in the organs like brain, and it's harming everybody. So who will, live very long life in these conditions when you cannot avoid these things? Okay, so let me read a little more, and then I think 6:30 we can stop. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maivam Vibhu Suranam Te Pradaya Padma Sambhava Varakrura Nisarganam Ahinam Amritam Yatham. Translation. The personality of Godhead replied, My dear Lord Brahma, O great Lord born from the lotus flower, just as it is dangerous to feed milk to a snake, so it is dangerous to give benedictions to demons who are by nature ferocious and jealous. I warn you not to give such benedictions to any demon again. But this is not the first time actually that Lord Brahma gave blessings to a demon. He gave blessings to, just recently I was reading some Kalika Purana where description of Narakasura, demon Narakasura, who was the son of Mother Earth of Bhumi Devi, who was eventually son of Bhumi Devi and Lord Varahadev. So Lord's own son, whom later Lord in Dvapara Yuga, when he came as Krishna, killed. If you remember, Narakasura kidnapped 16,100 maidens that Lord later married. So that same Narakasura was given a benediction in Treta Yuga by Lord Brahma. He performed tapasya and austerities, and he was given similar benedictions like Lord Brahma gave to Hiranyakashipu, that he can conquer all the demigods. That's why Narakasura, he went to Swarga, he stole, Varuna's umbrella, Mother Aditi, the mother of the demigods, earrings, and Indra's treasures. So he robbed completely Swargaloka and conquered and kidnapped these maidens, the queens of Krishna later. And he became so powerful because of the benediction of Lord Brahma. So sometimes Lord Brahma does some mistakes, but this is actually for the pastimes of the Lord. Otherwise, how would Lord fight this Narakasura? And the point is that Narakasura was not a demon actually from the very beginning. He was the son of the Lord, and actually he was a pious person who followed the Vedic principles. And he was educated by Marjanaka, the king of Videha, who was the father of Mother Sita, the wife of Lord Ramachandra. So he raised him up. It's a long story during Kalika Purana, one of the small Upa Puranas. So Maharajanaka, he educated, raised him up, and that's why he was pious, and he ruled a long time. His city was Pragjotishpur, which is nowadays it is in Assam. What is the capital of Assam? Anybody remembers the capital?
Guwahati.
Yeah,
Guwahati.
Guwahati. Yeah. So that same Guwahati was called Pragjotishpur in previous ages. So this Narakasura lived there actually for since the middle of Treta Yuga till the end of Dwapara Yuga. So most of his time there, he lived properly, followed the Vedic principles. But then at one point, he started associating with Banasura, the demon. And in his close association, he assumed all the bad qualities. And he became inimical towards the Vedic culture, the Brahmins or demigods, and even to Lord Vishnu, who was his own father. And then he needed to be killed by Lord Krishna, because then he became a really burden to his own mother, Bhumi Devi, Prithvi. So yeah, I don't know how we came to there, but yeah, the milk should not be fed to a snake. And Lord Brahma did that by giving blessings to Lord Shiva also sometimes gives blessings without thinking too much. Shinadu Vacha Ityuktva Bhagavan Rajams Tatash Chantar Dade Harihi Adrishya Sarvabhutanam Pujita Parameshtina. Narad Muni continued, O King Yudhishthir, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is not visible to an ordinary human being, spoke in this way, instructing Lord Brahma. Then, being worshipped by Brahma, the Lord disappeared from that place. Tatha sampuja shirasa vavande parameshtinam bhavam prajapatim devan prahrado bhagavat khalaha. Prahlad Maharaj then worshipped and offered prayers to all the demigods such as Brahma, Shiva and Prajapatis, who are all parts of the Lord. And one more. Tata kavyadibi sardam munibi kamalasana daityanam danavanam cha prahradam akarotpatim. Thereafter, along with Shukracharya and other great saints, Lord Brahma, whose seat is in the lotus flower, made Prahlad the king of all the demons and giants in the universe. Giants? What is the verse? Oh, Dhanavan. Prabhupada translates Dhanavas as giants. Actually, Daityas and Dhanavas are two, you can say, races of the demoniac beings that live below the Bhumandala. Daityas and Dhanavas. Yeah, I guess they're giant, so they can be called giants, Prabhupada is calling them. But the grace of Lord Nrsimhadev, Prahlad Maharaj became a greater king than his father Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad's inauguration was performed by Lord Brahma in the presence of other saintly persons and demigods. Okay, I think we can stop here. 1.5 hours is quite enough. So I don't know what is your availability in the upcoming period, especially here in Mayapur, and the festival period is coming. Are you able to still, on Wednesdays to have this class, or?
Yeah. Yes,
I'm okay,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
I don't think we have a problem.
Okay.
But next Wednesday is
What is it? Next Wednesday?
next Wednesday is which day
Next
type?
Wednesday, let us check. Next Wednesday is 12. What is on the next 12? I'm not sure whether there is any festival. Let me check the calendar. On the 12.
Nityananda Trideya this one.
No, Nityananda Triyodashi is on Monday.
Yeah, that is
On
10th.
Monday. That's 10th, so this is 12, so nothing is there on Wednesday. Okay, let's
Okay.
plan to have it, and then if something comes out, we can always cancel, if people
Yes,
say
yes,
we
Prabhu.
cannot.
Yes.
So we plan, and then we can always change plans.
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhu.
Okay, thank you all very
Prabhu,
much.
can I just give a
Thank you,
little
Prabhu.
input?
Hare Krishna.
You mentioned Narkasur's story and King Janak. Actually, it's I've read on this. It's not the same King Janak as Sita Devi's father. The rulers of Maithalia are all called Janaks, and this is actually a different Janak.
No, Prabhu. I read actually that Kalika Purana. I just recently gave class Bhagavatam class here in Mayapur, and I retold this story. And what I read in that Kalika Purana, it's clearly written that it was Maharaj Janaka, the same father of Sita Devi. It's clearly written in that Purana. I have
Oh,
actually.
really?
I
Okay,
have.
because I had we had a class on this by Bhakti Rasamrita Swami. No,
I
actually,
read.
sorry, not Bhakti Rasamrita Swami. Sorry, Amendra Prabhu. On detailed on Narkasur's life, and he mentioned he wasn't. He goes on Puranas. So maybe you, if you've read it, I was
Yeah,
only
I read. I mean,
repeating
I
what
can
I
post
heard.
it.
So.
I can also give a link to that class where I told the
Thank you.
details, but it's there in the Kalika
Because I
Purana.
know his life spans several yugas, doesn't it?
Yeah. So in Treta Yuga, actually, Lord Varaha appeared in Satya Yuga,
Yeah.
but then when the Bhudevi, the Mother Earth, conceived, she carried him for a very long time because demigods, they were afraid of his birth because the conception happened at the wrong time. So that's why they were preventing the delivery for a long time. So she went eventually to Lord Vishnu and prayed for to be able to deliver the baby. And then the Lord said, once the Ravana is removed from the face of earth, only then uh, Narakasura can be born, because the earth cannot at the same time bear two demons. Uh, so it happened immediately after Ravana was birthed. Bhumi Devi, she went to the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Janak and left the baby there and told Janaka Maharaj to take it. And the Sita Devi was already married to Lord Ramachandra. But it was the same father, Maharaj Janak, according to Kalika Purana. All
Thank
right.
you. Prabhu.
I can post that Purana and the link to the class, and then you can listen to the story.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.